John Lennon would have turned 85 on October 9th, a day the world will always remember, but one he never got to live. His story ended too soon, yet in his brief time on Earth, he reshaped music, art, and the way people dared to dream. His life was a storm of brilliance, fierce, tender, defiant, and at its center burned a spirit that refused to be ordinary. No one knew that spirit more intimately than Paul McCartney, not just his bandmate, but his other half in melody and soul. From the moment they crossed paths as teenagers in Liverpool, a spark ignited between them, something wordless yet undeniable. Together they chased magic, stumbled through chaos, and built a sound that would echo through eternity. On what would have been Lennon's 85th birthday, McCartney didn't need grand speeches or elaborate gestures. Instead, he posted a quiet tribute, a photo from 1968, deep inside Abbey Road Studios. Two young dreamers lost in creation, unaware that the world was being rewritten through their songs. His few simple words carried decades of love, grief, and remembrance, a whisper to a friend who never really left. The world answered him in kind. Fans from every corner of the planet filled the silence with gratitude, their comments forming a global symphony of remembrance. They spoke of how Lennon's voice had saved them in lonely nights, how his songs still breathe, and how his absence still leaves a hollow ache in the heart of music. Lennon and McCartney were never just partners. They were reflections of each other. Paul was light, John was shadow. One lifted, the other grounded. Together, they forged harmony out of tension and turned contradictions into poetry. From that humble church fete in 1957, their union gave birth to songs that became the pulse of an era. But as with all great fires, the brilliance came with its burn. By 1970, the dream had cracked under the weight of its own beauty. When Lennon said he wanted to leave, it wasn't anger that drove him, it was exhaustion. The fame, the expectations, the constant noise, it had all become too heavy to carry. When the breakup finally went public, it felt like the end of something eternal. Years later, Lennon confessed that he and Paul had always needed one another, that Paul's warmth balanced his depth, and his rawness gave Paul's optimism meaning. Their friction had been their genius. Lennon's solo years were short but fearless. Every lyric he wrote was a confession, every song a reflection of his truth, unpolished, political, painfully human. And then one cold December night in 1980, his music was silenced. Outside his New York home, the world lost its dreamer, and for a moment, everything stopped. Time, however, softened what fame and pride once hardened. In his later years, McCartney spoke with quiet gratitude about reconnecting with Lennon before the end. He admitted that if they hadn't, the regret would have haunted him forever, that losing John without forgiveness or laughter would have been unbearable. And yet, they did laugh again. They found a brief peace, fragile but real. Their friendship, though battered by history, never truly died. It still hums in the melodies they left behind, in the chords that refuse to fade, and in the invisible thread that ties their names together across time. 85 years after his birth, the world still pauses to remember the boy from Liverpool who imagined peace, loved without fear, and sang the dreams of humanity into being. John Lennon's voice may have fallen silent, but his echo still lives in every heart that dares to dream.